Today is Flag Day for 2025, and we're at the Battleship, New Jersey. And the purpose behind this is to educate the people as they come on board for a Flag Day ceremony as to the foundation of our flag and the changes that have occurred over the course of years. What you see on the yellow flag there is the Don't Tread on Me flag, which is known as the Gadsden flag. The Gadsden flag actually was brought up by a member of the colony of South Carolina, and he suggested that that should be the correct American flag. Unfortunately, nobody liked the flag, but it still stands for the independence that's there. Believe it or not, Benjamin Franklin thought that that was the appropriate flag to use, but he also thought that the turkey was the appropriate animal too. So, we might be saluting snakes, but for the fact that Benjamin Franklin wasn't as strong as he thought he was. The second flag that we have here, which is the Bennington flag. This flag here was never really adopted by anybody except the militia, the Vermont militia, and they fought at the Battle of Bennington. What's unique about this is it never was adopted. They adopted this thing, but it's the only flag that has white at the top. The rest of them all start with red, okay, and it has 76. It's kind of liked by our Philadelphia people because of the 76ers, but it's just a symbolic flag. The real first flag that was adopted by the colonies for the Revolutionary War was this flag here. This is known as the Grand Union flag. As you can see, this flag still has the Union Jack from the British. We didn't like that at all because it looked like we're still supporting the British, but bear in mind that most of the people that were there were British. So as a result of that, they thought that this was an appropriate flag. What happened was they realized that during the Revolution, that we needed a different flag. So they commissioned Hopkinson, who was a member of the War Department, and they asked him to prepare a flag. The Hopkinson flag, you see, has 13 stars on it, but it's kind of strangely arranged. And the problem occurred was with George Washington. George Washington did not want any of these colonies to think they were first, so that's the first star. Believe it or not, New Jersey is the third star on what we have, or the current flag, and Delaware is the first flag that's there. But so nobody really used the Hopkinson flag. What happened was George Washington went to actually he went to Benjamin Franklin, and he knew Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross was an upholsterer. She wasn't a seamstress, she was an upholsterer. And they commissioned her to make a flag. George Washington insisted that the 13 stars be in a circle so that nobody could be treated first, much like Sir Lancelot's cabin. So this was the actual Betsy Ross flag, and this is the flag that was flown during the Revolution, okay? Shortly after that, we began to add states, and what was happening was we added an extra stripe for every state. Well, it got to the point where President Van Buren said, wait a minute, it's going to be pretty good. We're going to have a zebra here for a thing. So as a result of that, they stopped that. But this flag was flown during the Civil War. This was the Union flag, and the Union flag was a prize. If the Confederate soldiers got this flag, they got an extra order of hardtack. So as a result, this was a flag. If you'll notice that none of the stars were removed during the Civil War because Lincoln said nobody can secede, and that's the reason for that flag. Our current flag is what we currently display, and you can see it has 50 stars on it, but still has the 13 stripes on it. This particular flag has been used ever since the Civil War. As we added the various states, they got an additional star to it. So while it has changed over many years, it'll still retain the number of states at any present time. So this is what we currently use, but we always make sure that we have the 13 stars and those 13 stripes that are there.